Lila wiped her tears. We slept in cars, then shelters, then nowhere. I hid in the forest because I was afraid he'd find us. He said if I ever told anyone, he'd take my baby. Ryan's jaw tightened. His anger rose. No one's going to take Hope, he said firmly. Not while I'm here. Lila looked at him, searching his face. Why are you helping us? Ryan stood up, took a deep breath, and walked to the window. Because once I lost someone too. My wife. She died after trying to have a baby for years. I've felt empty ever since. I know what it feels like to be helpless. Alone. Lila lowered her eyes. I'm sorry, Ryan turned back. Don't be. Maybe helping you. Maybe this is my second chance to do something right. Just then the doorbell rang. Ryan looked at the clock. Too early for visitors. He rushed to the front door. When he opened it, a man stood there, tall, well-dressed, with cold eyes. Ryan. The man said with a fake smile. We need to talk. It was Derek Moore. Ryan narrowed his eyes. Why are you here? Derek smiled darkly. I heard you picked up a woman in the forest, with a baby. She used to live in my building. She stole something from me. Ryan didn't move. She didn't steal anything. Derek stepped closer. That baby belongs to me now. She's not fit to be a mother. The law's on my side. Ryan slammed the door shut before Derek could say another word. He stood there, heart pounding. Upstairs, Lila held Hope tightly, her eyes full of fear. She had heard the voice. He's found us, she whispered. Ryan walked up the stairs, looked her in the eyes, and said, He's not taking you. He's not taking her. Not while you're under my roof. Ryan stood in his living room, pacing, back and forth. His mind was racing. Derek Moore. That name now meant danger, not just to Lila, but to little Hope. The baby was just a few months old, and already caught in a battle she didn't deserve. Upstairs, Lila rocked Hope slowly, her hands trembling. Every little sound made her heart skip. She had seen Derek's face at the door. She knew that once he found them, he wouldn't stop. Ryan walked in quietly. He won't give up, Lila whispered. He'll come back. Ryan nodded. Then we'll be ready. She looked at him with tired, unsure eyes. Why are you risking so much for me? For us? Ryan sat on the edge of the bed. Because you and Hope didn't choose this. You're not criminals, you're survivors. And I don't turn my back on people who've already been hurt. Lila's lips trembled. What if he takes her? Ryan held her gaze. He won't. But deep down, he was worried. He made a call. To his lawyer, Mr. Brooks, a trusted man in his 60s. Calm, sharp. She's scared, Ryan told him. He's threatening her. Can we protect her? Mr. Brooks listened, then said, Bring her in. We'll file for emergency protection. If what she says is true, we can fight this. The next day, Ryan drove Lila and Hope to the law office. Lila clutched Hope close to her chest, her eyes never relaxing. Inside, Mr. Brooks welcomed them kindly and offered hot tea. He sat with Lila and asked gentle questions. Lila hesitated at first, but then she told everything. The rent threats, the night Derek came in without knocking, the fear, the forest. Mr. Brooks took careful notes and nodded slowly. You did the right thing by speaking up. Now let's make sure he never touches you or that child again. Outside, however, danger was already moving. Across the street, a dark car was parked. Inside, Derek watched them. His lips curled into a smile. He had followed them. Later that night, back at Ryan's house, things felt quieter, safer. Lila had given Hope a warm bath. The baby giggled softly, finally feeling peace. Lila even smiled, a real smile, for the koi. First time in weeks, but the peace didn't last long. That night, Ryan's security alarm buzzed. He checked the screen. Someone was outside, walking along the back gate. He rushed out with a flashlight, heart pounding. There was no one there, but taped to the gate was a piece of paper. Just one sentence, written in black marker. She doesn't belong to you. Ryan crumpled the paper, eyes burning with anger. He called the police, but the officer who came was too calm. No damage, no trespassing, we can prove. Keep an eye out, the officer said, then left. Lila saw the paper. Her hands shook. "He won't stop," she whispered. "He wants to ruin everything again." Ryan held her gently. "Then we won't run anymore. We fight." He made another call, this time to someone unexpected. A private investigator he once worked with. "I need proof," Ryan said. "I need to show what kind of man Derek really is." The investigator agreed. That night, Ryan stood near Hope's crib and looked down at the tiny baby. She was sleeping peacefully, but Ryan knew the storm was coming, and he would be ready to protect her, no matter what it cost him. The next morning felt strange. The sun rose, birds chirped, and everything outside looked calm. But inside Ryan's house, the air felt tight, like something bad was about to happen. Ryan sat at the dining table with his coffee, staring at the note from last night. "She doesn't belong to you." He couldn't stop thinking about it. Upstairs, Lila was dressing Hope. The baby giggled and grabbed her finger. For a moment, the world felt sweet. But deep in Lila's chest, fear still lived. Suddenly, Ryan's phone buzzed. It was the private investigator, Marcus. "I have something," he said. "Meet me in 30 minutes. Ryan grabbed his keys and told Lila, "I won't be long. Lock the doors. Don't open for anyone." Lila nodded, clutching Hope close. At a small coffee shop downtown, Marcus opened a brown folder. Inside were photos, documents, and a USB. "Your instincts were right," Marcus said. "Derek Moore has a record, but it's buried deep." He pulled out a document. 2 years ago, he was charged with assaulting a tenant, a young woman, but she disappeared before trial. Ryan clenched his fists. "Was it Lila?" Marcus nodded slowly. "She ran, changed names. There's more. I checked old security cameras near your law office yesterday. Derek followed you there." Ryan's blood ran cold. "He's watching," Marcus said, "and he's waiting." Back at the house, Lila heard a knock. She froze. Another knock, louder, this time. Then a voice. "Lila, open the door. I know you're in there." It was Derek. Lila's heart pounded. She grabbed Hope and backed away. But Derek didn't wait. The knob twisted. He was trying to force the door. Lila ran upstairs and hid in Ryan's walk-in closet, dialing 911 with shaking hands. Downstairs, the alarm blared. Derek cursed and ran off before police could arrive. When Ryan returned, he found the front door damaged, and Lila in tears, holding Hope tightly. "It's getting worse," she said. "He was here. He tried to come in." Ryan's eyes filled with rage. That's it. He made another call to a local TV journalist he trusted, a woman named Julia who loved exposing the truth. "I have a story you'll want," he told her. That night, Ryan sat beside Lila and showed her the news report. Julia stood in front of a screen with Derek Moore's face. "This man has avoided justice for years. Tonight we tell the story of a mother who ran from danger and the man who protected her." Lila covered her mouth. Her eyes welled with tears. The truth was finally coming out. But then, another twist. An hour after the story aired, Ryan's phone rang. It was Marcus again. "I just found something strange," he said. "A hospital file, Hope's birth record. It doesn't list Derek as the father." Ryan's heart skipped. "Then who?" But Marcus interrupted. "The man listed is someone else, someone powerful, someone who might be even more dangerous than Derek." Ryan stared at the wall in silence. Lila had no idea. The danger wasn't over. It was only just beginning. The night was quiet, but Ryan couldn't sleep. Marcus's words repeated in his mind. Hope's real father is someone powerful and dangerous. He sat alone in his study, the glow from his laptop lighting his tired face. The file Marcus sent sat open in front of him. Father's name, Richard Elmore. Occupation, senator. Status, untouchable. Ryan leaned back in shock. Richard Elmore was a name he knew. Everyone did. A rich, well-known senator with a clean image. But Ryan also knew the truth. Behind closed doors, the man had power that reached deep and covered dark secrets. Suddenly, everything made sense. Derek wasn't Hope's father. He was working for someone, probably paid to watch Lila, to keep her silent, to hide the truth. Ryan closed his eyes. What has she been through? The next morning, Ryan gently approached Lila. She was feeding Hope on the couch, her face still tired from the night before. Lila, he said softly, sitting beside her. There's something I need to tell you. Her eyes met his, confused, but calm. Ryan told her everything. About the hospital record, about Richard Elmore, about the possibility that Derek wasn't just her ex, but a pawn. Lila's face turned pale. I never saw the father's name, she whispered. He said he'd take care of everything. After I got pregnant, he disappeared. Then Derek showed up, controlling everything. She blinked quickly, trying not to cry. I thought Derek was doing it for money, but now I understand. Ryan gently placed his hand over hers. They're still watching you, Lila. They're still afraid of what you know. Lila looked down at Hope, now peacefully asleep in her lap. I can't run anymore, she said softly. But I won't let them take her. Just then, Ryan's phone buzzed again. Another call from Marcus. They're moving, Marcus said quickly. Derek hasn't been seen since last night, but Richard Elmore just booked a private jet. Ryan's stomach dropped. Where to? Your city, Marcus replied. They're coming for her. Ryan looked at Lila. We don't have much time. He called Julia, the journalist, again. We need your help, not just a story. We need the truth to go public, all of it. Julia hesitated. Ryan, this is dangerous. I know, he said, but if we don't speak, they win. Julia agreed. Meet me at the station tonight. Later that evening, Lila sat in a small studio room, lights bright, camera rolling. Julia gently asked questions. Lila, nervous but determined, told her story. How she met Richard Elmore. How he used charm and money. How he left her with a child. And how someone else appeared to silence her. Tears fell as she spoke, but her voice never shook. The world needed to know. Ryan stood outside the room, watching through the glass. He had never been more proud of someone in his life. That night, the interview aired. People listened, people cried, people got angry. And somewhere in the shadows, Richard Elmore watched too. He didn't look scared. He looked furious. And when the broadcast ended, Ryan's phone buzzed one last time. A private number. He answered. A deep voice spoke calmly. You've made a mistake, Mr. Carter. A very big one. And now, it's too late to stop what's coming. The morning after the interview, the world was already changing. Lila's story had spread fast. Online headlines exploded. Senator Elmore fathered a child and tried to hide it. Young mother breaks silence. Names a powerful man as her abuser. Millionaire helps expose dark political secret. But with the attention came danger. Ryan didn't sleep that night. He stood by the window, looking out into the quiet street. Below, every passing car made his chest tighten. Lila sat nearby, holding baby Hope close, her eyes red but focused. I'm not afraid anymore, she whispered. Even if he comes. Suddenly, a knock at the door. Ryan froze. Another knock, harder this time. He moved quickly, motioning Lila to stay hidden in the back room with Hope. Then he walked to the door. He opened it. 2 men in dark suits stood outside. Cold faces, no smiles. One held up a badge. We need to speak with Ms. Lila Hayes now. Ryan stayed calm. She's not available. And unless you have a warrant. Before he could finish, one of the men stepped forward fast. Don't make this harder. You're protecting a woman who's just started a war she won't win. Ryan didn't back down. If anything happens to her, the world will know who did it. Cameras are already watching this house. The men paused. One of them looked toward a black car across the street. After a few tense seconds, they turned and walked away without another word. Ryan slammed the door shut, locking it quickly. He turned back and saw Lila holding Hope, tears in her eyes again, but this time not from fear, from strength. she whispered. You didn't have to do this, but you did. Ryan stepped close. I won't stop. Later that evening, the police arrived. Real police this time. The governor had seen the news. An emergency investigation was launched. Within hours, a warrant was issued for Richard Elmore's arrest. And while Richard tried to flee the country, authorities caught him at the airport. It was over. The next few weeks passed in a blur. Lila was placed under protection. Ryan helped her get a lawyer. Julia, the journalist, won awards for exposing the truth, but none of that mattered to Lila. All that mattered was that Hope was finally safe, and so was she. One evening, as the sun set, Ryan stood in the backyard of his large home. Lila came outside holding baby Hope, now smiling and full of life. You've given us a new beginning, she said quietly. Ryan looked at them, his eyes soft. No, you gave me one, Lila smiled. So, what now? Ryan looked at Hope, then at Lila. He smiled. Whatever future you want, but I promise I'll be part of it if you'll let me. Hope reached out with tiny fingers and touched Ryan's hand. It was a simple touch, but it meant everything. Because sometimes, families aren't born, they're found. And sometimes a single choice, made on a quiet walk through the forest, can change not just one life, but 3. Forever.